December doesn't ask how loud your dreams were, it asks how honest your effort was. When the year is ending and excuses are exhausted, this is where legends are revealed. December pressure does not arrive gently. It does not knock. It crashes through the door of your life and asks you one brutal question. Did you become who you promised yourself you would be? And most people don't like December because December remembers everything. It remembers the goals you announced loudly in January and abandoned quietly by March. It remembers the discipline you meant to build and the excuses you perfected instead. December is not cruel, it is honest. And honesty feels like pressure when you've been avoiding the truth. But listen closely, pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the birthplace of legends. America was not built in comfort. It was built by people who stood at the edge of fear and said, "Still, I will try." Every bridge, every road, every dream that became reality was first born under unbearable pressure, and December carries that same energy. It compresses the year, it squeezes the lies out of you, it leaves you face to face with yourself. You may feel tired right now, that's okay. You may feel behind, that's human. But what you must never feel is finished. Because December is not here to end you, it is here to define you. This month does not ask for perfection. It asks for courage, the courage to stand in the cold truth of where you are and still believe you can rise. I know what it feels like to carry invisible weight, to smile for the world while something inside you is cracking. To look strong while you're quietly fighting battles no one applauds. Strength is not loud. Strength is staying when it would be easier to disappear. Strength is choosing hope when despair feels logical. And December tests that strength harder than any other month. This is the season where loneliness speaks louder, where failures replay themselves like a cruel highlight reel, where the world celebrates endings while you are still trying to survive the middle. But here, these endings are not death, they are decisions. December is asking you to decide who you will be when the applause is gone and the excuses no longer work. You don't need a new year to begin again. You need a moment of truth, and that moment is now, right here, right in the pressure. Because legends are not born when everything is easy, they are revealed when everything is heavy. America celebrates the comeback story for a reason. Because this nation understands something deeply. Resilience is not optional. From immigrants who arrived with nothing but belief, to workers who woke up before sunrise and refused to quit, this land was shaped by people who did not wait for perfect conditions. They moved forward anyway. December belongs to those people, the ones who keep walking even when their legs are shaking. You may think one month cannot change your life, but one decision can. One disciplined hour repeated daily can. One refusal to quit can. December is small on the calendar, but enormous in consequence. How you finish echoes louder than how you started. The final push always reveals the true character. This is not the time to compare your journey with someone else's highlight reel. Comparison will steal the strength you need to survive this month. Your path is allowed to look different. Your pace is allowed to be slower. What is not allowed is surrender, not now, not when you have already endured so much. If you are still standing in December, you are stronger than you think. The year tried to break you and failed. That alone makes you dangerous. That alone makes you capable of more than you've imagined. Pain did not disqualify you. Struggle did not erase your worth. If anything, they trained you. December pressure feels heavy because it is compressing you into something sharper. Diamonds are not formed in applause. They are formed in darkness under pressure over time. You are being shaped, not punished, prepared, not rejected. So take a breath, feel the weight, don't run from it. Let it remind you that you are alive, that you still care, that you still want more. Legends are not fearless, they are faithful to the fight, and this month is asking you to stay faithful to your growth, to your healing, to the version of you that refuses to disappear. December pressure creates American legends because it exposes who is willing to rise when comfort leaves. And right now, the question is not whether the pressure will break you. The question is whether you will let it build you. If you're still here, still listening, still breathing, your story is not over. It's just getting serious. December does something strange to time. Days feel heavier, nights feel longer, and silence gets louder. It's in this silence that most people quit, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. They tell themselves they'll try again next year. They postpone courage. They delay discipline. They convince themselves that waiting is wisdom. But deep down, they know the truth. Waiting is fear wearing a polite mask. Pressure exposes habits. Under pressure, excuses fall apart. Under pressure, you see clearly what you've been feeding your life: discipline or distraction, courage or comfort. December doesn't create weakness, it reveals it. And revelation hurts, because it forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you said you would become. But here is the beauty of that pain. It means you still care. Indifference is far more dangerous than failure. As long as something inside you aches, you are still alive in the fight. Pain is proof of purpose. It means your soul has not accepted a small life. You might feel like this year took more from you than it gave. Dreams delayed, relationships broken, energy drained, but loss does not mean defeat. Sometimes life removes what is no longer aligned, so you can finally move forward without extra weight. Not everything that left was meant to stay. And not everything that stayed deserves your loyalty. December is not asking you to celebrate your wounds. It is asking you to learn from them, to extract wisdom from pain, to turn scars into strength. Because healing is not forgetting what hurt you. Healing is refusing to let it control who you become. You see, legends are not perfect people. They are honest people, honest about their fear, honest about their flaws, honest about their responsibility. They stop blaming the past and start building the future with the tools they have left. Even if those tools are broken, even if their hands are shaking, they build anyway. There is something sacred about choosing to continue when no one is cheering, when no one is watching, when the only witness to your effort is you. That kind of commitment rewires your identity. You stop asking, will this work? And start declaring, I will. December demands self-respect. Not motivation respect. Motivation fades. Respect remains. Respect shows up even when feelings don't. Respect keeps promises to yourself. Respect says, I may be exhausted, but I am not done. This month tests whether your goals were real or just emotional reactions to inspiration. Real goals survive discomfort. Real goals endure boredom. Real goals require repetition when progress feels invisible. And December specializes in invisibility. You work hard and see little return. You push and feel nothing change. That's where faith steps in, not blind faith, but earned faith. Faith built on showing up anyway. You may feel alone in this season, but solitude is not abandonment. Solitude is where clarity lives. It strips away noise, it removes external validation. It teaches you to stand without applause, and once you learn to stand alone, no storm can knock you down. America's greatest stories were not written in comfort. They were written in winters, emotional winters, financial winters, spiritual winters. Cold seasons force resourcefulness. They sharpen survival instincts. They teach grit. December carries that same lesson. It is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to refine you. Don't underestimate what quiet consistency can do in 31 days. Don't belittle small disciplined actions just because they aren't dramatic. The world celebrates explosions, but life is changed by erosion. Small efforts, repeated daily, carving out a completely new future. If all you can do today is breathe and try again tomorrow, that is enough. If all you can manage is one honest step forward, that is progress. Strength is not measured by how much you carry, but by how long you refuse to give up. This month is not a verdict on your worth. It is a mirror. And mirrors are not meant to shame you, they are meant to show you where to adjust, where to soften, where to stand stronger. December pressure will test your patience, your faith, your discipline, and your belief in yourself. But tests are not punishments, they are invitations to level up, to become the version of yourself that no longer breaks under pressure, but rises through it. You don't need permission to keep going. You don't need approval to believe in yourself. You don't need a perfect ending to honor the effort you made. What you need is honesty, courage, and the willingness to stay in the fight a little longer. Because legends are not created by perfect years, they are created by people who refuse to quit in December. There is a quiet moment in December when the noise of the year finally settles and you are left alone with your thoughts. No deadlines screaming, no celebrations distracting, just you and the truth. This is where many people feel afraid because silence has a way of exposing what we've been avoiding. But silence is not your enemy. It is a teacher. It asks you to listen not to the world, but to yourself. In that silence, you may hear regret whispering, things you should have said, chances you didn't take, time you wasted trying to be everything for everyone except yourself. Regret is heavy, but it is not useless. Regret is information. It shows you where your heart still cares, and anything you care about can still be changed. Pressure has a strange way of simplifying life. It removes unnecessary choices. Under pressure, you discover what actually matters. You stop chasing validation and start chasing peace. You stop performing and start becoming. December strips you down to essentials. It asks, what are you willing to fight for when comfort is gone? This is where inner strength is built not in moments of victory, but in moments of decision. Decisions made when no one is forcing you. When quitting is available, when giving up would make sense. Choosing to continue in those moments rewrites your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. You don't need to be loud about your growth. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in private. You don't need to announce your discipline. You need to practice it. Let your consistency speak later. December rewards those who work quietly and believe deeply. The pressure you feel is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you are stretching. Growth always feels uncomfortable because it demands you release familiar versions of yourself. The old habits, the old excuses, the old stories you used to tell yourself to stay small. Pressure forces evolution. You may feel like the world has moved ahead without you, like you are behind some invisible schedule. But life is not a race, it is a calling, and callings do not expire. Timing does not invalidate purpose. You are not late, you are becoming. This month invites forgiveness not just for others, but for yourself. Forgive the version of you that didn't know better. Forgive the mistakes made from survival. Forgive the pauses that were actually recovery. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength that understands healing is necessary before progress. Legends are not built by self-hatred. They are built by self-respect, by people who refuse to abandon themselves even when life becomes difficult. Staying loyal to yourself during hard seasons is one of the bravest acts there is. December does not require grand gestures. It requires presence, being fully here, fully accountable, fully aware. When you show up honestly, even the smallest actions begin to align into momentum. You might not feel powerful right now. You might feel fragile, but fragility is not failure. Glass once shaped by fire becomes strong. Pressure and heat do not ruin it, they refine it. What you are experiencing is refinement. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you did not quit when it was hardest. That confidence does not shout. It stands firm, and once you have it, no one can take it from you. The American spirit has always been about rebuilding, about rising after collapse, about finding dignity in effort. December mirrors that spirit. It gives you one final opportunity to honor your resilience, not by achieving everything, but by refusing to disappear. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel. But you are not allowed to surrender the future to exhaustion. Rest so you can continue. Feel so you can heal. Then stand back up. Because when this month ends and the calendar turns, what will matter most is not how much you achieved, but who you became under pressure. And the person you are becoming is stronger than you realize. December carries a weight that no other month does. It stands at the edge between what was and what could be. It asks you to look back without judgment and forward without fear. That balance is difficult. Most people lean too far into regret or too far into fantasy. Legends stand in the middle. They acknowledge the past, but they do not live there. They imagine the future, but they do not escape into it. They act now. Pressure reveals priorities. When everything feels heavy, you stop pretending about what matters. You realize which dreams were distractions and which ones still pull at your soul even when you're exhausted. Those are the dreams worth protecting. Those are the ones that belong to you. This is the month where discipline becomes an act of self. Love, not punishment, not obsession. Love that says, I care enough about my future to do what is hard today. Love that chooses effort over ease. Love that keeps going even when motivation has packed its bags and left. You don't rise to greatness in a single moment. You rise in fragments, in small choices, in quiet refusals to quit, in showing up when it would be easier to scroll, sleep, or numb yourself. December magnifies those choices. It turns small discipline into massive identity shifts. There is something deeply powerful about finishing strong, even if the finish line looks different than you imagined. Finishing strong doesn't mean winning. It means honoring your effort. It means not abandoning yourself at the end. It means saying, I didn't become everything I wanted this year, but I became someone who didn't give up. That kind of integrity changes how you walk into the next chapter. You enter with confidence earned, not borrowed. You stop waiting for permission to believe in yourself. You already proved you can endure. Pressure also teaches humility. It reminds you that control is an illusion. That strength is not about dominating life, but adapting to it, bending without breaking, learning without hardening. Humility keeps you human, and humanity keeps you connected to purpose. This month asks you to release what no longer serves you: grudges, guilt, resentment, unrealistic expectations. Carrying them forward will only slow you down. Letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing not to be owned by the past. You may still feel uncertain. Uncertainty does not mean you are lost. It means you are standing at the edge of growth. Every meaningful transformation begins with uncertainty. Comfort never creates legends. Courage does. The pressure you are under is shaping your character. It is teaching you patience. It is building endurance. It is training your mind to stay steady when emotions fluctuate. These are not glamorous skills, but they are foundational. They are the difference between people who start strong and people who last. December reminds you that endings are not failures. They are closures, and closure creates space, space for better habits, better boundaries, better beliefs. You cannot build a new future while clinging tightly to the old one. If no one has told you this yet, let it be said now. You are allowed to be proud of surviving this year. Pride does not require perfection. It requires perseverance, and you have persevered more than you give yourself credit for. Legends are not defined by flawless journeys. They are defined by resilience under pressure, by the willingness to stand back up with dignity, by choosing progress over paralysis. As this month continues, do not rush it. Do not waste it either. Use it. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it strip away what is false and strengthen what is real. Because when the pressure lifts, when the calendar turns, you will not be the same person who entered December. You will be steadier, wiser, stronger, and that is how legends are prepared. December does not end with fireworks. It ends quietly, and that quiet ending is intentional. It gives you space to hear yourself clearly, not the noise of expectations, not the opinions of others, but your own voice. The one that knows how far you've come. The one that remembers every time you wanted to quit but didn't. The one that understands that survival itself is an achievement. By now, you've realized something important. Pressure didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It showed you that you are capable of carrying more than you thought. That you can move forward even when clarity is incomplete. That courage doesn't require certainty, it requires commitment. December taught you patience, not the passive kind, but the active kind, the kind that keeps working even when results are delayed, the kind that trusts effort more than emotion, the kind that understands that growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. You are not leaving this month empty-handed. You are leaving with experience, with wisdom earned the hard way, with an inner strength that cannot be taken from you because it was built in silence, under pressure, without applause. There is a version of you that entered this year hopeful and untested, and there is a version of you leaving this year weathered, aware, and resilient, that transformation matters more than any unfinished goal. Because goals can be revisited, character cannot be faked. You may still have fears, that's human, but fear no longer owns you. You've stood in the discomfort and survived. You've faced disappointment and continued. That changes how fear speaks to you. It becomes quieter, less convincing, less powerful. December pressure creates American legends because it trains the soul. It builds people who know how to rebuild, who understand that setbacks are not signals to stop, but instructions to adjust, who carry dignity even in uncertainty. As you step forward, don't rush to reinvent yourself. Honor who you've become. Let consistency lead before ambition. Let integrity guide before excitement. Strong foundations outlast fast beginnings. Remember this, you don't need to prove your worth to the world. You need to live in alignment with it. When your actions match your values, confidence follows naturally. Not loud confidence, grounded confidence. If the year did not give you everything you wanted, it gave you something better, resilience. And resilience multiplies. It shows up in how you speak to yourself, how you handle pressure, how you rise after setbacks, how you keep going when things get quiet again. Legends are not defined by one year. They are defined by how they respond to difficult seasons. December was one of those seasons, and you did not disappear. You stayed, you endured, you learned. So as this chapter closes, carry this truth with you. You are not starting over. You are starting stronger, with clearer eyes, with steadier hands, with a heart that knows it can survive storms. The pressure shaped you, the silence strengthened you, the struggle refined you, and that is how legends are made.